Good morning, everybody. I'm Linda with Pinky Moss Cakes, Cookies, and Candy. Thank you for joining me early. I have got some errands to run in Marshall today, and I didn't want to be out real late because of the heat. So I decided I'd go ahead and do this early, and I wanted to get the buttercream made because I'm going to let this rest while I go to Marshall. And then when I come back, I'm going to crumb coat the cake and let it set for a little while. I've got, there's several different things you have to do. All you bakers know what I'm talking about. You crumb coat it, you let it set in the refrigerator. But since I'm putting filling in between the layers, that also needs to set in the refrigerator. So you have to do this in stages. So I'm doing the buttercream now live. This won't be a super long video, but thank y'all for showing interest in wanting to see this. I will tell you that I'm leaving my ringer on. I don't think I'll get a call while I'm on live, but if it does a little glitch, you'll know why. Mary is at the doctor this morning, and I told her if she called while I was on live, I'd call her right back. But I will probably be off. I'm not going to take the call during the live, but at least I'll know she's ready for me to call her. And I'm going to go ahead and tell y'all what's in here, and then I'll talk a little bit more about Mary in a minute. But I don't know if y'all can see this or not. I'm going to try to let you see about, I've been beating this for about, and you see I've got my big mixer out. I think you can see that. It's real soft, and that's how I wanted it. It's almost like a whipped butter, and you want to start with soft butter, and you want to whip it for about, this is a big horsepower mixer. If you've got one of the smaller KitchenAids, or if you're using another mixer or a hand mixer or our Pampered Chef, you're probably going to want to beat this butter, I'd say anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes. And you want it as white as possible. The longer you beat it, the whiter it's going to get. You'll see my ingredients here. I'm using clear flavoring, and I say flavoring because this is Watkins, and it is high quality, but it's not a complete extract. It's a blend. And I'm also going to use some butter extract. Both of these are Watkins. And I'll let y'all know about how much I use. This will be a little bit later on. Of course, salt, some heavy whipping cream, and my powdered sugar. I have 10 sticks of butter in here. Now, I'm making a lot of buttercream. This is a 10-inch cake, 3 layers, and I need enough to crumb coat it, and then I need enough to coat it again, to frost it again. And I'm also doing a triple border around this cake. So that'll be a triple border around the bottom and a triple border around the top. And I cannot wait to see, let y'all see the video later on when I'm actually doing the frosting and finishing it. I have something a little bit different that I've never done on it before. So I'm going to go ahead and start this again. I have 4 pounds of powdered sugar out, 2 2-pound bags. I may not use it all, but I've got this out. So I'm going to go ahead and start this, and then I'm going to kind of push my mixer. I have it on one of these sliders. I'm going to kind of push it away from my microphone so I can talk just a minute. But I'm going to go ahead and start beating this again. I'll add a little bit of powdered sugar. And I'm not measuring this because I know about, you know, this is 2 pounds, and I think there's probably 8 cups in 2 pounds. I've got my glasses smeared, and I don't like that. But if you have a flour guard, which I do on this, but I'm not going to use it, at least I'm not right this minute. I may a little bit. I'm going to pour a little bit in at a time, mix it up in increments. So I know that a lot of y'all are concerned about Mary, and I am too. She's not able, really, she is really not able to do videos right now. And it worries her an awful lot because she can't. So I'm just going to put it to y'all in pretty plain terms. If you want to help Mary, there's two things that you can do. You can pray for her, which is absolutely the utmost, and you can watch my videos, because if we don't have videos, there's no money coming in. And while some of you had rather watch Mary than me, and I don't say that to be sarcastic, I know, that many of y'all do like watching me, but there's some that don't like watching me as much as you do Mary. And that's okay too. I've come to terms with that. But if you want to help her, then please watch me do my videos. Also on my personal page, those of you who look at my personal page, Lynn Pinkston Dalton, you'll see that I've been posting a lot of comments, and also I've been doing a lot of posting, and I've also been posting a lot of pictures. You do not have to follow me to see those, but you can follow me if you want to, but or you don't have to be friends with me to see those posts, because my page is public, so that means anybody can see it. If you will look at those, comment on them, like them, share them, whatever you do, because when I started Pinky Mouse Cakes, Cookies, and Candies in March of 2018, that was right before my 70th birthday, I started the Home Cottage Bakery. So everything that Pinky Malls and my personal page are connected together. So that means when I post something, it's automatically associated with Pinky Malls. Now, on the other hand, Mary's personal page is not connected to Pinky Malls because she didn't start the page. And I don't understand all of it, but because I did, then I can post on my personal page, and we get credit for that too, not just on Pinky Malls. So I hope I'm saying this easy enough for y'all to understand. The bottom line is, watch anything to do with Pinky Malls, Cakes, Cookies, and Candy that is on this page. Make sure you're watching the correct page, or on my personal page, and make sure that you're not just watching, that you're either commenting or liking or putting hearts or sharing it, and that helps us a lot. That helps us be visible on Facebook, and the way Facebook does their, algorithms or whatever it's called, they want to see visibility. So there's only one of me, and I'm going to do as much as I can. There may be some weeks coming up that I don't post as much, but I will be doing my best. And Mary she will be on here when she feels like it, but I do not want her on here when she is not able to do it physically. So keep that in mind, and I appreciate it very much, and I know she does too. So I'm going to pour some more. I'm going to pour about half of this in here. Maybe not half of it, because I need to put a little bit of this whipped cream in here. Whoops. I didn't want to do that. Trying not to make a mess, and then I spilled a little bit of this. I'm not going to measure this. I know about how much of this I'm going to use. This is heavy whipping cream. I'm probably going to use around a half a cup total, but I'll have that in the recipe. I'm just going to pour a little bit at a time because I want to keep this soft, and I'm also going to put some salt in here. And this is a lot of buttercream, so I am going to use a lot of salt. And you may think it's too much salt, but this is extremely sweet. It's not going to have the powder. The more powdered sugar you put in it, the sweeter it's going to be. And I'm going to be using a lot of powdered sugar. So this is about a half a teaspoon that I'm putting in here now. wasn't quite a half a teaspoon. I'm gonna get a little bit more. Now you don't have to use flake. You can use table salt, whatever kind you use is fine. And I'm also going to use a lot of vanilla because, again, this is a lot of buttercream, and you want it to have some flavor, not just be sweet. And I'm going to start off with, this is a tablespoon. I'm going to start off with a tablespoon of this clear vanilla. Smells really, really good. There's not too many brands that you can find clear vanilla in. I know that Wilton in the cake aisle in Walmart, they used to have the Wilton clear in the little bottles. This is butter, and I'm going to do about a half a tablespoon of it. Now I'm going to put some more vanilla in, but that's all I'm going to put in for this moment. And the reason I'm using the clear instead of the regular extract is because I don't want to tint it a kind of an off-white. I want this to be as white as possible. And I have white food gel that I could put in here, but it completely changes the texture of your buttercream. And texture is a really big thing with me. I don't want to do that because it changes the texture. So I chose not to use that white food coloring to put in here. Now this is going to be a big bowl, and I'm hoping that it's going to be enough. Got my Sprite. There's still got a little bit of ice in it. I love it when it's got ice in it. It's so refreshing. There's lots of paper towel. Sometimes you'll think you've got this creamy enough, and then after you get through, it's not going to be creamy. And I'll tell you the difference. This is buttercream that's going to crust, and the difference in a buttercream that's going to crust and one that stays creamy and doesn't crust over, meaning that it sets, and if you touch it on the cake, it's not going to come off on your finger. If you put any kind of K-roll in it, like K-roll syrup, white corn syrup, it's going to be creamy and it will not crust. And I like for mine to crust. So I don't put the syrup in mine. And I have made it like that in the past, but I don't, that's not how I prefer to make it. I may wind up putting this whole bag in here. I said I was going to move this mixer, and I didn't. Woo! This is my workhorse here. I made a lot of shortbread in this mixer. I'm going to go ahead and put in another tablespoon of this vanilla. Want to kind of drizzle a little bit at a time. Now this recipe can easily be halved. I don't mind if I make too much buttercream. I don't like it when I don't have enough, because then you got to get it out. You get everything out again. You've already cleaned up your mixer. You've already cleaned up your dishes and your counter, and then you have to make some more. So I'd rather make too much than not enough. And you can always freeze this. It'll keep in the refrigerator probably, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks, maybe even a month. But if you want to freeze it, you can put it in a good freezer bag, Ziploc freezer bag, and it'll stay good in the freezer for a couple of months. And sometimes you just want a little extra buttercream, like if you make some cookies and you want to make a cookie sandwich, or if you just want to mix up a little small thing of muffins and you want a little bit of frosting on them, you've already got some made. And if you put it in the refrigerator, keep in mind that you need to take it out and let it sit out and come to room temperature. It's going to take a few hours to do that, or either you can stick it in the microwave for a few seconds at a time. You want to be careful if you microwave it because it will melt. So keep that in mind. I am out of powdered sugar. This was the last 2 sacks that I've had, and I have kept a big supply of powdered sugar for years, literally years. And I looked in my tote yesterday because I thought I was going to have to come to the store, go to the store to get some, and I found these 2 bags. So I will be having to do a restock before the summer's out, before I start fall cooking. Okay, now I'm going to I don't want to use that. I want to get a spoon to taste it, and I want to see how creamy it is. I'll let y'all see. It sounds quiet without that mixer. Let's see if y'all can see this pretty good. And I know my table's a mess. I'm going to get it cleaned off, but right now, that's not a priority. I sure don't want that much on it because I don't want to waste it. But you can tell it's pretty creamy. It feels real silky. And it's pretty white. It's not yellow, and that's what I want it. I want it white. So now let me taste of it. Let's see if it needs anything else in it. Y'all remember a couple of years ago when I was getting the weight off of me, I don't know, maybe 3 years ago, when I would make anything that had any kind of sugar in it, I wouldn't even taste of it. I just trusted my instinct. I would never tasted a buttercream or anything, but I do like to taste of it to see if it's what it tastes like. It's really, really silky. This is a real good, you can taste the butter. Of course, you can taste the butter flavor because it's got that butter flavor in it. But, oh, it's sweet. I might add just a tiny bit more salt in it. I can't eat super, super sweet stuff like I have all my life. It seems like I'm live. I told him a while ago, but I'm not sure if he heard me or not. So I told y'all I was going to put a tablespoon in here, and I only put about a half. So I'm going to put a little bit more salt in this. You want to make sure that you get this mixed up really, really good. I used all but about a cup of this. So I'm going to say I used about 15 cups of powdered sugar. I'm going to write that down. One. I'm making notes on my recipe here, so I knew about what I was going to have in it, but I wanted to make sure that I used a different color ink to do any tweaking on my recipe. Now, you would be surprised how long you need to whip this. And this is a 1 horsepower motor. It's a very heavy duty motor. It's a commercial series mixer. But you need to whip this a lot to get all those air bubbles out of it. And if you've seen cakes where it wasn't smooth or something, that's because they didn't beat it long enough and the air bubbles are still in it. And there's a way to get those out by melting some of your buttercream and adding it back in there. And, you know, sometimes I do that, sometimes I don't. It just depends. When I get through with this, I'm going to cover it real good with plastic wrap, my stretch tape, and I'm going to let it sit out. I'm not going to refrigerate it. I'm going to let it sit out until I get back from Marshall, and then I'm going to start my my crumb coat. I actually may beat this some more. I will have to mix it a little bit more when I come back because you want to mix it up real good, but I want to lower this and get the camera there so y'all can see. And I would be afraid to guess how many quarts this is. This is an 8-quart bowl. I figure this is probably about 6 quarts of frosting is about what it is, and that's just guessing. I'm going to scrape that off that beater, but I want to get put this back in the refrigerator. I left a carton of this whipped cream set out one time, and I had to throw the whole thing out because I wasn't going to take a risk on it being ruined. So I make sure I get my whipping cream back in the refrigerator. Okay, now I'm just going to slide this over. See how easy this slides over? I can't pick this up. This mixer's too heavy. I don't know if you can tell or not, but there's a little board on the bottom of it, and it just slides over. And I've got 2 of them, one for each mixer, and it makes all the difference in the world. You're not having to pick that up. And for something very inexpensive. Now I'm going to show y'all. This is how I kept my cakes in the refrigerator to keep them from, you know, something brushing against it. Now I'm going to put these back in the refrigerator. I'm just showing y'all how I'm doing them. Now this layer here is going to be the middle layer, and this is almond. And if you're wondering why I got the little layers, because I'm going to make, this is a 7-inch, this is a 10-inch. I'm going to make a small cake too. And one thing about this cake, because I'm making, or I made different flavors, the cake layers are not the same. So if you're looking for something perfect and the cake layers to be exactly the same, they're not going to be, because the batter is different. And I'm going to have to level these up. But I'm going to show you how. This is my blue layer here. And this is, the flavor is actually a cake batter flavor. And I'm going to carve out probably about a 6 or so inch, and I'm going to heat some blackberry jelly. I'll do this later, and I'm going to put in that little hole. I'm going to carve it out to put that in there. So this is going to have blackberry jelly on it, and then this is my red layer, and it's the biggest one, and the blue one is the next biggest one, and the white is the middle. So this is how the cake is going to be. I'm going to have the blue on the bottom, and I will have to get my leveler out to level these. I just use one of the standing levels, and I'm not going to level this now because I'll have to do that with a knife. But and then the white will be in the middle. Now I'm not going to put a filling in the white. I thought about doing an almond marzipan, but I just decided that I would not put anything but buttercream in the middle. And on the top, now you can see how big this is going to be. I'm going to carve this out, and I'm going to put some of my fresh strawberry preserves in the middle, and that will have to set because it's hard to put buttercream on top of preserves. I did it that time when I made Mary's long, big, huge birthday cake that some of y'all came. I think Sandy and her husband came from Houston. Several from our local area came to Bear Creek, and we had a little birthday party for Mary, and they all wanted to know how I got that pineapple filling and then the buttercream on top of it, because when you put buttercream on top of a filling like that, like a preserves or something like pineapple, it would automatically come up. But the way I did it is I let it set in the refrigerator until that completely set, and then I could put the buttercream on top and it wouldn't mix in, the pineapple wouldn't mix in with the buttercream, if that makes any sense. That's how I did it, and that's how I'll have to do this. So you can see, even without the buttercream or anything in the middle, it's over 6 inches. It's probably about 7 inches high. It'll probably wind up being about, I don't know, maybe between 8 and 9 inches high. Maybe not quite that big, because I will have to level this off. But I'm going to go ahead and put this back in my pans. And I started to tell y'all, the reason I put these in my pans like this is because in times past, I would put the layers in the refrigerator, just lay them like this on the shelves, and then something would press against it, and then it would put a dent in the cake. And then you have to fill that in with buttercream, and this just makes it so much easier to do, if you'll put it back in the cake pan. So that's why I told y'all to do that. So I'm going to put this back in here, and then I'm going to put this cake circle on top, put this in here, and it doesn't take up as much room that way either. And then this will be my little one, and several people have asked me what I'm going to do with this cake, and that is a $64,000 question. I make cakes or make something sweet so often, and then I have to figure out what to do with it. I know I am going to give it away. I have an idea where it's going to go, but I don't know completely for sure yet or not. So I'll have to level these out, but that's going to be the small one. I'm going to cut this one. So let me put these back in here. This in here, and then I'll put them back in the refrigerator. That way I can stack them, and I'll give it. So thank y'all for joining me this morning. I don't know what time it'll be when I come back this afternoon, but I will. I'll try to get everything done and let y'all see what I'm doing. It's so easy for me to just want to go ahead and do some of it ahead of time, but I know y'all want to see how I'm doing it, so I'm going to try my best to be patient. Patience is not a strong suit of mine. And do it in steps so y'all can see it. But keep in mind, when I do that, I have to stop and then do another video later, because you can't do it and then just turn right around and do another video. It has to have time to set. So I hope that all makes sense. Y'all remember Mary in your prayers, and thank you so much. And I don't know what time it'll be, but I'll be back on sometimes, the Lord willing, and I'm not too knocked out. I'll be back on later on this afternoon, and we'll do the put the preserves in here, and we're going to have to do that first before I crumb coat it. So I'll probably do that. That'll be one little video, and then I'll do the crumb coat after that has time to set. And then the fun part will start after I do the crumb coat and that sets. Then the decorating will be the very last part of it. So I'm really excited to see how this cake's going to turn out. Y'all make sure you join me, because it's going to be fun. And like I said, it's something that I've never done this particular thing before, and I'm really anxious to see how it's going to turn out. Y'all have a wonderful day. Stay cool, and always count your blessings, and always be kind. Always be kind. See y'all later. Bye-bye.